And today we're financially free. That's the whole thing. So everybody can do it. It's a matter of putting your head into the right column. And then for me, it was in '73, I took my first real estate investment course here. I'm free. I own no stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs. I do not touch paper. I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but I think people have been brainwashed by the Fed, the Treasury, and whatever those guys are. Go to school, get a job, pay your taxes, get a high-paying job, and invest for the long term in a well-diversified portfolio of stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs. And today we have baby boomers who are hoping the stock market stays up in their 401k just as Social Security goes bust, because they went to school, we did as we're told. Don't fight the Fed, do as the Fed tells you. Invest for the long term in a well-diversified portfolio of stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs. When the debt to GDP is 120%, you gotta be kidding me. So when they were dropping the interest rates, I thought I died and went to heaven, because I'd buy apartment houses. I own 13,000 apartment houses. Every time the Fed dropped the interest rates, it jacked the value of my properties up, but I also improved the properties and I refinance out. So today I own no money in any of my properties, 13,000 units, all throwing cash. So as I said, I use debt now to get rich, and then I invest in hard assets. So that's what we can talk about. My point of view here is, ladies and gentlemen, I would question what you've been taught from school. That's all I'm saying. Is that in a bull market, even idiots feel smart. After 2011, the market crashed in '08 because the repo market went bad. And the repo market is the credit of Lehman Brothers and Bear Stearns was bad. They just started pumping money, just like you said about Christine Lagarde. You said start lying. And what they did was they kept printing more money to save a bad economy. It was already crashing again in 2011, but they kept printing money. And today we're going to pay that price. That's why. So what I did was I rehabbed my apartment, 13,000 of them. I just kept buying more with the cash flow, and I'd refinance out as interest rates dropped. So I'm in good shape now. Then I took them. Then I set all interest rates right now. So I use debt. And who's that guy who says live debt free? Well, that's his opinion. I don't do that. There's 3 types of tax breaks. I got appreciation, depreciation, and amortization. So I zero out. So my cost of money is, my tax on debt is 0. And I use that tax, appreciation, depreciation, amortizations, all in Rich Dad Poor Dad, to offset tax in my income. So Rich Dad Poor Dad is more appropriate today, because if you read Rich Dad Poor Dad, this is all it's about. It's about a financial statement, income statement, balance sheet, statement of cash flow. How could it not be relevant when 99% of all people graduating from school don't even know what a financial statement is? And if they do, they probably, so that's why I created the cash flow board game, because accounting is the most important subject for individuals, because this is what your banker wants to see. Your banker wants to see your financial statement. If you have good financial statement, bankers will give you all the money you want. See, bankers have never asked me for my grades or my college I went through. I want to say this: you have this, they'll give you all the money you want. I know most millennials, they want a high-paying job. They want to be able to pay the rent, eat, and all this stuff. And then you dream of the big house, a nice car, and all that. But that's why 99% of Americans are broke. But that's the power of focusing on assets versus liability. Most people are so busy working for money, so busy trying to pay their bills, and so busy buying liabilities they think are assets. 3 kinds of money today that you guys got to be aware of. One is God's money, and God's money is gold and silver. So this is silver, and this is gold. The reason I brought it is most people don't know what it looks like. And then there's government money, which is fiat currency, which is the dollar, the yen, the peso, the euro, the yuan. Fake. And everybody's working hard for it. That's why people are getting sick financially, because they're working for fake money. Okay. And then there's fake assets, which was another part of the fake millennial, the fake generation series. But if you look at what happened with the fake central bank, see, the purpose of the central bank or the Fed or all, the Japanese bank, the Bank of Japan, or the European Central Bank, they pump out fake money. The purpose of central banks like the Fed is to protect the banks, not you. They're a criminal operation as far as I'm concerned. You're going to find that most of my talks is about the Fed. So I would recommend you guys buy this stuff. Don't save money. Don't save government money, because they're corrupt as hell, as you know. Save God's money. In school, they compensate for risk by telling you to memorize the right answer. So in other words, these kids leave, young people like you, leave school thinking, oh, if I know the right answers, then there's no risk. And it drives old guys like me crazy. Because everybody's talking about millennials. What's wrong with them? You know, millennials are the most highly, in many ways, the most highly educated generation in history. They have the cell phone. They didn't get educated in school. They got educated on social media, on the cell phones. They know all the answers, but they're afraid of doing anything. You know, the biggest complaint about my generation is millennials know all the answers, but they can't do anything. And the reason they can't do anything is because you might hurt somebody's feelings, you might make a mistake, you know, and that just keeps you guys just trapped in this little box here. So that's one of the reasons I think millennial money is such an important point here, because if you're going to come into my world, old guy's world, or the information age, you've really got to understand what is risky and what is not risky. And in my world, if you play it safe, that makes you stupid. Because if you don't take risks, you don't get smarter. You know, so you may know the answer, but you can't do anything. And one of the best things I had is I went to military school, then I went to flight school. I had such great teachers, you know. All of them could fly. You know, so my flight instructor could fly. What a novel idea. You know, a flight instructor can fly. But when I was in high school, most of my teachers were terrified. They're all cowards, you know, job security. Don't make mistakes. Just memorize the right answer and you'll be safe. So that's why I love working with on these programs here. Because if you're going to be successful, you've got to take some risk. Most of the young people your age today, you know, a lot of them want to become entrepreneurs. The problem with this, you have to understand tax. You see, this is all over the world, very little difference. What does school teach you about money? Nothing. You know, balancing a checkbook, I mean, give me a break. Give me a break. I meet so many people say, oh, my banker won't give me any money. This is what, because you don't have one of these. And when you look at most of the politicians today, they don't have one of these either. The US government doesn't have one of these anymore. They stopped doing this because of the US government, the budget is so out of balance, they can't do anything.